Welcome back, folks. This is the final 3 at 3 of the week. It is a triple witching, and I'm sure those of you who are familiar with the term know that it's usually associated with volatility, and we do have a little bit of that today as the market drops precipitously. But we are all about unusual activity on 3 at 3. So we'll define for those of you who have never been to this program before, whether you're seeing it for the first time streaming or if you're seeing it on YouTube, welcome. Remember, you can always subscribe to all of our videos for free on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Market Rebellion. And then when it comes up on the screen, click subscribe. It is completely free. There's no credit card. There's no additional information required. And then you might even check that bell, because if you do, then you'll get notified every time a new episode drops. For Pete's The Take, for my 60-second video in the morning, for AJ Monty's weekly wrap-up, or for the Rebel Edge, which comes your way every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And of course, 3 at 3. All right, let's get started. And we're started looking at a trade that we just told you about, which was Hasbro. They were buying November 77.50 puts in Hasbro. That was with the stock a little over $2.25 higher than that. Well, take a look at the stock today. It has fallen down precipitously. It is literally down $4 from when we identified this yesterday. And the puts have exploded. In particular, our put spread has paid us some nice big fat returns. We're not talking like 1% or 3%, like some people talk about when they talk about returns, folks. We're talking about returns of 100, 150%. You get the idea. That's why we trade options. Now, the trade-off with options is that there is a limited time, so it's got time decay. You have to deal with that. And or you have to understand it so that you can deal with it, and you have to deal with the fact that those expirations, as they're known, may occur before or after the particular event you're looking for. And so you can get left in the cold being long a bunch of puts last week in Hasbro and having it make this move today. But in this case, that is not the case. This just happened yesterday. These are November puts. They have not expired yet. And yet they're already at a 100% profit on this spread. Bang, I'm selling puts against it. Rebel Edge is a program that Pete and I started, and it has now picked up such momentum that it's already on 2 streaming platforms. We're about to announce a third. I encourage you to check it out on all the socials. If you watch it live, you can also watch it on clickstv.com. And of course, YouTube, which I just described. If you watch it live, it is at 1 p.m. Eastern time, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. 3 programs a week. We cover top stories of the day, the 1-minute macro, because, you know, when you look at the market today, folks, do you really want to trade a macro theme, or would you rather have stocks that are giving you yields of the type that I've described? If you're a trader, you go for the gusto, and that's what we've been going for. We identify 4 particular stories of the day that we're focused on, and then we hit unusual activity, followed up by sports. All right, that said, take a look at this one, which is also reaping some nice rewards. Capital One. Talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago, may have been a little longer, but they were buying the October 105 puts with the stock trading at 112. So $7 out of the money, beneath where the stock market, or for this particular stock, where this stock was trading, Capital One. And today it falls below 100. It was 99 and change a little bit ago. That screenshot I have there shows it at 146 cents, which means that if you bought puts as we did, you are a very happy camper. Whenever we see put buying, we know somebody's either building a big short position, which this could have been, or they're protecting and they wanted a lot of protection really fast. How do I know that? Look at that. 9,200 contracts is 920,000 share equivalent, folks. So yeah, it's been a good day to own puts. There's Pete and I doing a little celebrating. There's his handle in case you don't already follow him at Pete Najarian. We also have official Market Rebellion and John Najarian, of course, and encourage you to check out all of our shows. All right, let's get started today with, there we go, Alcoa, bearish puts. Well, what a shock. Bearish puts. We already had Arconic with an incredibly bearish outlook from their customers. Well, what do you suppose another aluminum company is doing? The same. And for that reason, Alcoa, which was $41.82 today, somebody bought 800,000 share equivalent in the November 25 puts. That's a big trade, folks. Imagine 800,000 shares of a $41 stock. You know, that's a big trade, multi-million-dollar trade potentially. That is why we are in the puts on the short side in here, and we will be looking for downside activity to sell additional puts against it. And look at how far out of the money those puts are. $16. Ouch. All right, let's get on to EFA, which I believe is the broad market ETF for everything but the US and Canada. And they are buying puts aggressively again. We've identified this one multiple times in the past few weeks, and they are coming for puts again. Look at the number, folks, 20,000 puts. That is 2 million share equivalent. 20,000 puts, every put is for 100 shares. So that means 2 million shares short of a $60 stock. 2 million shares of a $60 stock's $120 million trade. If you're me, you're following that. If you're you, maybe you're thinking about following it. I can't pull the trigger for you, but I can tell you this is a very large in the money put buy that expires on the 30th of September. So in other words, 2 weeks hence. Next week is the 23rd, of course, and the following week is the 30th. So that is the end of September. 61 puts in EFA. Virtual RebelCon, folks, next week at this time, I will be enjoying, hopefully celebrating with some cocktails with a bunch of you, because it's a sold out show in Dallas, Texas at the Four Seasons. 21st through the 24th, we will be at the Four Seasons Hotel. And since you didn't join already, if you're one of those people who hasn't, well, you can join virtually. And that virtual ticket is available at marketrebellion.com/Dallas. That's marketrebellion.com/Dallas. You get live as well as a recording of everything that goes on that main stage. Bang. Final trade of the day. Guess what? They want more puts in Capital One. So you already saw that a couple weeks ago, we had the October 105 puts. Well, guess what? They just rolled down to the 90 puts. So $15 lower than where they first were buying those puts, folks. Wow. So you can bet that after I took some big fat profits in those former puts, now I'm rolling down and into these puts. Stock trading 100 or par, par and 55 cents. I'm buying the par puts. My intention is to sell downside puts against it one by one. If you don't already know, if you're doing one option against that you're long against another option that you're short, there is no additional margin for that trade. You have then addressed to virtually the biggest extent you can time decay, as well as directional bias to a certain extent, because instead of just buying that put and owning it naked and having the stock bounce back up to 102 or whatever and go, damn, I wish I hadn't bought that put. If it rallies, the put that you sold will decrease in value along with the put that you bought. So in other words, you can mitigate, define your risk on that entry rather than some other time. And these are fast decay puts, folks, because they're regular October expiration, which means you only have a little bit of time to be right. which means that the seller of these puts has time on their side. The buyer, not so much. So you want to make sure you address time decay, which is theta, as well as potentially vega and gamma with this one. And again, you don't have to understand all those terms, just have to understand that time going by is not good for the owner of any option. You need time on your side. So that's why I'm selling some puts against the puts that I buy in Capital One. That's going to do it for me today, folks. I thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the Rebels Edge, Monday and Tuesday. And then I head to Dallas for that RebelCon 2022. Bang. Make it a good weekend, everybody.